Symmetry. I love symmetry. I'm not sure exactly why, but I've loved it since I was a kid. Most children are messy and forgetful of their things. Not me. I knew everything had a place, and in my room, everything was right where it belonged. My parents didn't have it. My grandparents didn't have it either. Not a single person in my family had it. I've started referring to it as it because I truly believe it's a thing inside of me. A stowaway that shouldn't be there but lives inside of me. It's a need, a desire, a longing to be perfect. Perfect on both sides. As an adult, I'm to the point where I can't live my life normally. I can't keep a job. Women don't stay with me because they can't handle it. Honestly, I don't even care when they leave. They're messy and make things difficult. They roll over to my side of the bed instead of staying on their own. They leave dishes on one side of the sink but not the other. And I can't work anymore, so when they leave for the day, I have to stay home and fix everything. It's a relief when they leave for good. That feeling never lasts, though. Eventually, it comes back and finds something else that needs fixing. You may be asking, why do I seek out relationships to begin with if I can't stand them? Well, it's hard for me to sleep in the middle of the bed all night without moving. Other than my relationship problem, my life is pretty much in order. I say pretty much because there is one last issue that needs to be dealt with. You see, I have what's called heterochromia iridium, or two different colored irises. My right eye was cornflower blue, my left pale green. Both of my parents have cornflower blue eyes, my siblings and cousins as well. My green eye is the broken one. It makes me unbalanced. Every time I look at myself in the mirror, it stares right back at me. It's all I think about. Everything in my life is in its right place, except my little green mistake. It didn't hurt at first when I dug the spoon under my eye. It didn't even hurt when it popped out and was hanging by my cheek. Was it shock keeping the pain away, or was it? I snipped the optic nerve and bottled the warm fluids that were streaming down my face. My vision being cut in half was a strange sensation. What was left of the dangling flesh, I placed in the now empty hole. I bandaged the wound, rinsed the spoon, and went to sleep. I woke up, happy. I slept better than I had in years. It was finally done. I was fixed. I got out of bed and stumbled to the bathroom. My body ached, and my head was on fire. I flipped the switch in the bathroom, and the light was blinding. I slowly removed the bandage that was soaked in blood and sticking to my face like tape. When I looked up in the mirror, my stomach turned. Only then had I realized what I'd done to myself, and I couldn't believe it. There was a hole in the left side of my face, but not the right. I was unbalanced. Again. It was much harder digging out the second eye. My hands were shaky, and when I dug the spoon in, I missed several times, puncturing my pupil 3 before I finally got it in. Once the eye popped out, I reached for the scissors to finish the job. The blood from the previous night had dried on the blades, so the scissors didn't cut very well. You know, when you were a kid in elementary school and your teacher made you cut construction paper for art projects? Did you ever try to cut too many pieces at once? But the scissors couldn't take it, and the blades would kind of fold on each other, and the paper would get pinned in between them. That's what was happening to my eye. The optic nerve was pinned between the two blades, and it was stuck. And as I tried desperately and frantically to put and make it unstuck, I slipped on the blood and started falling to the floor. Reflexes kicked in, and I let go of my eye to try to break my fall with my hand. The weight of the stuck scissors on my eye, hanging there, was unbearable. I knew I couldn't stand it long enough to make it to the kitchen to get the knife, so I pulled it. I pulled it straight out of my head. I felt the flesh tear from the inside of my skull. I felt it rip and spew liquids everywhere. I knew I was crying, but there was no telling the tears from the blood and the ocular fluid. When I heard the wet slap of bloody flesh against the tile floor, I knew I was done. I knew it was done. I could live my life now without having to see people's awful, messy, uneven lives. The relief washed over me, and I knew that it would last this time. I'd never felt this before, this much hope, and I laid there on my sticky tile floor and smiled for the first time in years.